The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ, and we have a guest today.
We have a guest today. We have our man, our fellow CAG member, Nelson, and he will be here. So it is Friday in the Riv.
The 1st of July.
The 1st of July. And before we go any farther, we have to say happy birthday
That's
to
right.
Steve, our
producer.
our great producer who always gets everything squared away and is responsible. Or maybe we shouldn't say that, Steve. They'll come after you because you help us get our show on. But yeah, happy birthday, Steve. So without further ado, let's get down a bit. We got so much to talk about today, people, that we had to bring Nelson in to help carry the load.
There you go.
We're bent over. I got so much weight on me today. Where do we begin?
Well, I'm going to begin with something real quick.
Good.
Real quick. Last week, somebody posted a video of easy disposal commingling or mixing solid waste, recycling, and yard waste. Yard waste costs us $28 a ton to get rid of. It's $156, I think, for recycling now, and $130 for solid waste. Yard waste weighs more than solid waste. It's heavier. So what happens is they dump it in with that, and they jack up our cost to dispose of these solid waste, which is also a violation of the contract, and it's a violation of the law. If you are the one who posted the video, please send it to us here at Spindle City Straight Talk. We need it because the city would like it to terminate their contract with Easy Disposal if possible, and at least fine them because they have fines built into their contract. I'm going to be standing out in front of my house with my video camera. I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to get them doing it because they do it every week. So please help out. Save some money for the taxpayer. If you see it happening, get a video, get a picture, let us know.
That was a very interesting little segment you just put in there. As we know, the deceiver in chief, he's just somebody that is just completely out of touch, okay? And yesterday, he did an interview, and he just proved yet again to show another indictment on his lack of leadership and compassion for the most vulnerable in our city. And without further ado, I'm going to let him speak for himself so that he can't say that was a lie, or his chief of staff can say it was a lie. But so here goes.
And people, for some reason, they get mad at market rate housing. Market rate housing is a product that a developer like Mark Dion puts out there and says, I want $1,000 for this widget. If nobody buys it, then Mark's going to either lower the price or stop making them. Right. The market rate units right now, at the prices they're offering them at, are full. They're full.
Right.
I mean, what do you want me to do? I went down across from Cuss. They got Ashworth.
And a lot of them have been rented even before they're open.
Go to the parking lot. I was over there one day. Car from Oregon, car from New York, car from Connecticut, all in the parking lot. That's new money coming into Fall River, paying a rent they chose to pay. And we're supposed to stop that or tell people not to do that. That's the complete opposite of what you asked about the $600 friend. We're not going to stop that.
Yeah, like I said, there's plenty of that. I've done it. But
Captain Clueless strikes again.
I think he misses the whole point of affordable housing.
Yeah, let's make something perfectly clear. He doesn't have a clue, never had a clue. He walked around with his hands in his pocket in that academic bubble called the school department. Everywhere else they're talking about affordable housing. Even the gubernatorial candidate, the present Attorney General of the state of Massachusetts, I saw her say we have an unaffordability problem in the state of Massachusetts for the average person. You're telling me, Paul, people from New York and stuff are moving to Fall River? For what? Maybe they were visiting. And by the way, of course the parking lots are filled. You only give them half the allotted parking places.
That's right.
So those, of course they're filled, you dope. Market rate housing has been proven to elevate rents. But of course then Paul Coogan doesn't know what city he lives in. He thinks he lives in Newton because he doesn't realize that the poor people, not people like him that are getting a nice big fat pension and getting another 120 grand over the top and making around 200 grand, and all the other, his banker friends, his lawyer friends, his developer friends. Money's irrelevant. It's like Ben Affleck and J-Lo. Who cares if my 10-year-old cracks up my Maserati SUV? I don't care. I'm rich. He doesn't notice. I can't believe that this guy is this dumb, because he's not. This is all a big con. Because he walked around in that school, and he knew damn well that, 70% to 80% of the people are on the lunch program because they're from low income? Is he that clueless? You can't convince me of this. This guy just gets up and he free associates and he tries to con everybody. No matter what he says, oh, the market rate, the prices will come down. The prices aren't going to come down. What those developers are going to do, they're going to bail out. They're going to sell the properties and let them go derelict. Remember what happened to Point Gloria? I knew the guy that bought the penthouse apartment for over 300 grand. How many years ago? 30 years ago? 40 years ago? I don't know, 30 years ago? And then he ended up living in there with Section 8 people and he had to move out. This is what's going to happen. They've proven that if you market rate housing has an adverse effect on low-income cities. He just doesn't stop with his idiocy. He also talked in that thing, by the way, I'm on a rant now. He also talked about giving a $3,000 bonus. Of course, he forgot to say that he didn't give it to police, fire, and EMS, to Mark Monroe Dion. They have to reopen. They're not getting it, but his selected employees are going to get it immediately. That's the key. The key is, but here's what he said. Oh, that's what this was for. Oh, this is for the firefighters and the cops, and he say to go out and have a nice dinner and stimulate the economy. Really? Where are they going to go? What Chinese restaurant or pizza place are they going to go to stimulate the economy? And number one, I can guarantee you that more than 50%, probably more like 70% of the people on these departments don't even live in the city.
Right.
They're going to be like the people he appointed. Do you think that the CFO from Warwick is spending any money in Fall River? She drives from Warwick. She works, she turns around, and she goes and spends her paycheck in Warwick.
If we're lucky, she gets lunch.
Yeah, if you're lucky. She probably brown bags it. She's probably afraid to walk out of... And so are the rest of them. They're from Seekonk. They're from everywhere. This guy is a con artist above all con artists. And the stuff he talks about is nuts. And people, you should be pissed. He's the only mayor that has never talked about affordable housing. It's like he can't get it out. It sticks in his throat. He goes, market rate housing. Forget it. I can't do it. I can't say affordable. I live in a city that everybody's rich like me. I can't say affordable because everything's affordable to me. I'm making 200 grand. But he don't care about the people in the Flint corridor. He probably, the next time he walks up the Flint corridor may be the first time he's ever walked up the Flint corridor. So with that, boys, take it over.
And here's the thing too, before I dive into that with affordable housing, this is taxpayer money that was used for these bonuses, right?
Correct. No, it's ARPA money for the bonuses.
ARPA money is
taxpayer
money, right?
Yeah.
And yet he went on the air and said, well, we're not using taxpayer money to give out these bonuses. It's just, you cannot make this stuff up. But, Paul, you see, the people like myself and these two gentlemen on the stage and everyone else has been clamoring for you to do your job. And you just confirmed yesterday that you're not going to do your job. You're not going to stop this market rate housing, and you're going to keep it going. You're going to keep it going, because I remember that in a previous interview, you told Mark Dion, well, we're going to spread the money around in this budget. We're going to spread the money around. Well, the money's not spreading where it needs to go to provide that relief. But you see, in New Bedford, they're spreading that money to where it needs to go. And how they got this done is to knock your socks off. And here it is. Mayor Mitchell announces an $11.2 million for new housing developments in New Bedford. The 5 awarded developments, which is going to be about 150 units, applied for funding assistance this spring through the city's Housing Expansion Initiative announced back on April 1st. The initiative supports large-scale housing projects that are shovel-ready and will directly assist in the creation of new units for people with household incomes at or below the area median income. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. Developers of 5 projects recently received letters announcing their awards from federal funds received by the city under the American Rescue Plan Act. You know, the ARPA money that you like to keep to yourself. And the Home Investment Partnerships Program administered by the city's Office of Housing and Community Development. Development costs for the 5 projects total more than $71 million. The ARPA and home funding awards will support and leverage those private investments to fill funding gaps and move the projects toward construction. And here's the best part. A majority of the new units across the 5 developments will be income restricted for households and earners making various percentages of the area median income. You see, New Bedford understands how to utilize ARPA money. And you said it yesterday. You said, well, what do you want me to do? Well, your pal in New Bedford, he's got the same amount of money as you, same type. And he's utilizing it where it needs to go, into the pockets of the most vulnerable in the city. Same thing here, Paul. The fact is, you don't know your position, because with great power comes great responsibility. And like I said, for the 2nd straight year, you put down this budget that violated city ordinances, and that is another indictment on your lack of leadership and compassion for the most vulnerable in the city of Fall River. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. It's not hard to figure out to take care of people. It's not hard.
He asked what we want him to do. I think Mayor Mitchell in New Bedford answered him. I think East Providence answered him. Even Somerset answered him. We're telling you to get your head out of your rectum and be a mayor. That's what we're asking you to do, Paul. We're asking you to be a mayor of the city and of the people of the city, not all these special interest groups that you pander to. We don't want to hear it. CJ's going to take over about because he got a thing from your pal Auchincloss, another guy that lives in Newton.
More money for Fall River, which don't get me wrong, they want to send us money. That's great, but let's send us money for responsible development. Send us money for waterfront parking.
For tourists.
$1.5 million for waterfront parking.
Yeah. Wow. Tell them what your response was to that, CJ. Please, the people really need to hear that.
I turned around and I said, you know what? This is ridiculous. I said, there are no tourists coming to Fall River. There won't be tourists coming to Fall River. What we need is money to build affordable housing. We need money to help the taxpayer. We need money for our water system, which is having problems because we're under a federal order for the CSO project. Why don't you work for the people instead of working for the select few mayors that you kiss their... Yeah. And I was blunt about it. I still haven't heard anything back.
What a surprise.
Mm-hmm. And CJ, you know, I'm going to say to the city I'm going to talk about numbers that are not up for discussion, but it's the reality of the situation. You see, as we know on Craigslist, a lot of landlords ask for rents that need to be 3 times, your income needs to be 3 times the rent, okay? Rents in Fall River are almost $2,000.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna be getting there real soon. So, Paulie, I hope you're paying attention. Hope you're paying attention. Once rents hit $2,000, let's do the math. 2,000 times 3, that's $6,000. 3 times the rent. So you need to make $38 an hour to afford that type of rent. So then you times that by 12, that's $72,000. The average household income in the city of Fall River is about $45,000.
43.
I'm sorry, 43. And now and per capita is like a little over 26,000. And the average retiree's salary is about, what, 22,000?
22 for city employees, the median.
There you go. So you need to make $72,000 a year to afford rents here in the city. That's the reality of the situation. And yesterday, you proved it yet again that you don't give a damn. You're just gonna let your banker friends, your developer friends get the money to build this market rate housing and skid town. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And look, and here's another thing. Fighting for the taxpayers, it's a great hobby. I will always fight for the taxpayers, and that's a hobby that I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
Good, kudos to you, but let's make something perfectly clear. The majority of people, except the select few developers who've been living off Fall River for years because they're from the area, but most of the new people that are coming to Fall River and most of the city employees who are advocating for this because they have CFOs and administrative assistants, don't live in this city. They do not care. The impact of the devastation this is going to wreak. The numbers you just gave are staggering. Because remember, how about even 1-bedroom apartments? The average single income is $26,000.
There you go.
So now you're going to get an apartment for near $2,000. You need a $70-some thousand income.
$72,000.
And you're making 26. So basically, you're 2.5 times under what you need to afford your rent. But Paul doesn't care, because Paul walks around in the North End, where everybody's got a nice job. They probably work for the school department. Give them $3,000 more to go out and have dinner. Where? Federal Hill? Boston? Not Fall River. Let's give the people with the most money more money. That's Paul's philosophy. And let's give the people with no money the shaft and hope they just go away and die. Because that's what they really think. That's what they really think.
Oh, I know. And here's the interesting part about all of this. He's saying how there's plates from New York and Connecticut and everything else. Like you said, maybe they're visiting. Maybe they did rent the market rate housing. But he says that's money coming into Fall River.
Maybe
that's not money
maybe
coming
they're
into
drug
Fall
dealers.
Yeah, that's not money coming into Fall River. Those people aren't coming. They're not going to shop at Shav's Market. They're not going to shop at Amaral's. Okay? They're going to shop at Stop and Shop or Shaw's. And that's not money that stays here in Fall River. That's money that goes back to a foreign company.
Yeah, we know.
Okay? And let me tell you something. They're not buying any of our products either, because if they're shopping at all, they're not shopping at Walmart. They're going into Dartmouth or Brockton or Bridgewater, more likely Bridgewater, okay, and Quincy and the South Shore Plaza to shop and buy high-end goods that you can't get in Fall River. The only high-end good right now that's made here in Fall River is a mattress, and it's owned by the Sealy Corporation. And they just announced it, Cardi's just announced that they're made here, and you can't afford them. Well,
look, $500 towels. We know this.
Right.
Look, they live in a different world.
Matuk, $500 towels.
But let's be perfectly clear here. They have a different lifestyle. Like I said, the Ben Afflecks that back into a BMW and buy the guy's whole family new BMWs. Just shut up, let my 10-year-old hit your car with my $250,000 car, because I don't care, because I'm rich and I don't care. Nobody's going to prosecute me like Pelosi's husband. You know, hey, he gets into an accident. It should be a felony, but nothing. Nobody knows. Injury resulted. Money is money, but they have a different lifestyle. But I got to segue into this because we got to get this in because this is obscene. When I heard about this, the top of my head flew off. We're building an $8.2 million garage.
8.6.
Oh, I'm sorry, but hey, look. What's
a couple of $100,000?
What's $400,000 among friends?
That's
that's
it.
chump change. Listen, people, you greedy SOBs who are worried about making your rent because you're making $43,000 as a family and you got to make $70,000. How dare you? Go do what you were told to do by a billionaire. Ride a bus, eat beans
And lentils.
and lentils, and let your dog die. Because you're nothing. You're poor. Just go somewhere and get out of our... We don't even like to look at you. It's like West Hollywood. They defunded the police. Their crime rate's up 137% because they don't give a crap. Because they live in a gated fortress. They'll hire their own security. They don't care. $8.6 million. Does anybody in Fall River know that? No. CJ dug that out. $8.6 million. Remember. Why weren't we told? Who's paying for it?
The water department.
The water department through our fees.
That's right.
That's right. You're paying for it. 8.6 million. And let's face it, what has this building got? It's got truck washing bays. It's heated, so they can turn up the thermostat. And who gives a crap about the heating bill? Taxpayers are paying it. They probably got jacuzzis, massage chairs.
They have conference rooms.
HBO. Who knows what they got? Does anybody in the city know? Does the council know?
Whoa.
Does anybody know?
Ooh.
But did Paulie tell us? What's Paulie going to say? Oh, I didn't know. Okay, I'm going to tell Paulie. Okay, this is the Fall River. This is what it says. This is the Fall River Watuppa Water Board regulations. 74-272. The Watuppa Water Board shall consist of 3 commissioners appointed by the mayor. Oh, Paula, you don't know about this? You don't think the people deserve to be there? We gotta have baseball fields better than Newton. We gotta have DPW garages better. We gotta have water department garages. Everything that they use has to be the best in the state. Even though we're one of the poorest cities, you tell me there's not a total disregard for the people. I read these ordinances.
I know
yesterday.
you were looking crazy for it.
You know, I want to find out why, because when I looked it up in the Mass General laws, it only talks about town water boards.
Right.
It doesn't talk about cities. So I want to know why there's such a disparity. I looked up, because you know me, I like to do things like this. I looked up New Bedford. In this set of regulations, it says you cannot have someone from the city council on the water board in Fall River. Heaven forbid that the people who give you the money and appropriate the water fees, right, would know what's going on with the water board.
That's right.
That's right.
Heaven forbid that happens in Fall River, okay? You know who the New Bedford Water Board is? The mayor of the city of New Bedford and 1 city councilor.
See,
Why? Because then they actually know what the water board's doing and how it relates to the city budget? Why? I'm going to tell you how pathetic we are in this city. They never change anything that they can twist and manipulate. You know what these things are? The powers under the acts of, you ready for this? 1871.
wow.
Chapter 133. We're operating under something that was passed about 6 years after the Civil War ended.
Oh, man.
You think maybe we could have no, but you know why? Just like our charter, when they the mayor gave them more power to screw the taxpayers. We're operating under stuff from 1871.
And you know that's a special legislation, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't in the full legislation. That's
I
special.
know. It's a
that's
home rule
petition.
Home rule petition.
That's
exactly.
right.
So Fall River, but you know the irony of it, our Constitution says we rule, but they don't. The home rule is their rule.
That's right.
And I want Paulie now to go on Dion and go, oh, what do you expect me to do? Like we said, Mitchell showed you in New Bedford. Be a damn mayor. Realize the people who comprise the majority of the city that you're supposed to be leading, and you're not leading it. The only thing you can lead is a one-man parade.
And even that you screw up.
That's right.
And I would also like to bring up something that just hit the news. It's a position that I've stood on for so long, and I just feel great that I feel vindicated by this. You see, as we know, I talked about the city of building its own broadband internet infrastructure network, okay? I've said this so many times, and I was told that I was too naive. Well, here it goes. Boston Globe. Significant portions of city neighborhoods in Massachusetts lack internet access. More than half of homes in Chelsea, Fall River, and Springfield lack reliable broadband access. You see, we have ARPA money,
Which can be used to develop internet access.
which qualifies as an infrastructure project. And here's what that will achieve for us. We will write our own ship, okay? We'll keep the money in-house instead of having our city residents pay for internet with the local company, as we know. See, we can generate some real revenue with this, and the project will pay for itself.
But you see, that's the problem. You're talking logically.
Yeah.
You're talking logically. This is something that I have, since ARPA came out, I was arguing for too. And Sean Kadim turned around and said during a city council meeting, okay, another person who screws you, Sean Kadim said during a city council meeting that it would involve too much record keeping and it would have to be an enterprise account and it would have to be standalone. Taunton has their own electric company. Mm-hmm. How come they're not gouging them?
You know how come? Because we're running short of time. We should have like a 3-hour show today. But you know why? Remember the cities: Fall River, poor, and poorly run.
Yes.
Chelsea, that was in receivership a while back.
That's right.
Remember, Chelsea was one of the last. I think it may be the last community in Massachusetts that went into receivership. Another poor, poorly run city.
Correct.
And Springfield, another poor, poorly run city.
Right.
It's always the poor people who get crapped on. And it's time for the people to get up. Be angry, be sick and tired, and in the next election, do what they're doing nationwide. We got a clean house. This mayor is not a mayor, okay? He's a vice principal. Send him back to where he belongs, the hallways of some academic bubble.
I thought it was a cruise director.
Cruise, yeah.
And I also like to say too, he can go around and pave streets here and there, but think about that for a second. He's so quick to repave a street, and yet the people of Fall River, you need relief, and you're not getting it. So there is money. It's not flowing to where it needs to be, and that's a shame.
And remember, right after he paves the street, they cut it up again.
Yep.
Right afterwards. And the other thing is, he's using a loophole in the ARPA money to fix water mains in areas where the sidewalks need to be replaced. That way he can use the ARPA money to repair the sidewalks. That's why he's doing it. He's doing it to screw the taxpayer again, because that money should be put together to work out. 20 million, as Michelle Dion said, 20 million should go, and the mayor's administration said, we're going to bond for it. I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great long weekend. Enjoy your Independence Day, and remember, stay safe. Stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday.
And God bless America.
God.